Hey, what's up, everybody? D Amazing here, bringing another review. And this time is of the Figma SP-80 Femto Birth of the Hawk of Darkness version. That's a really long title. I don't know if I'm gonna put that in the thing, but whatever. It's a deluxe one, and it's really dope. So let's get started. First and foremost, I started with the bare body of Femto because, well, before you get into anything else, you want to see what's under the cloak and not in the egg and things like that. First off, it is a nice purple. I was not expecting that. I was hoping they would go for black, but this tint of purple with the shading that they did was actually really dope on their behalf. And I've been having a real hate relationship with Figma lately, but they pretty much nailed it with Femto, giving you this really dope design. Now you can't remove the faceplate, at least as far as I'm concerned. Maybe it takes some hot water, but I have not been able to remove it yet. But in terms of just having a steady body in a semi brand new mold, as far as Max Factory is concerned, they've done a great job. Now, as you can see, it has the lanky hawk-like body, the hawk-like feet, and it's something that's different. It's really dope. It's not something that you get all the time, especially from Good Smile. Usually, even if it's different, it has a similar or same mold. Now, one thing is about the articulation, it's still something to be desired, but on Femto, it does a great job. So this is about as far as the arm goes up for the lower half. So, it's a little more to be desired. So it's just a little disappointing here. But, you still get a lot of stuff. Now, as far as ab crunch, you can actually get pretty far forward, which is really good. There's increased range in the neck, so you can go left and you can go right. There's actually a lot of range there. So far, the arms seem to be the only disappointment, because even with the legs up, you have to be a little careful with the legs, because you can rotate in and out. But like all Figmas, you kind of get used to it, so please be careful, because I have had the tendency of messing up my Figma legs, rotating them too hard. So I've learned to be a little more gentle with mine. Ab crunch going to the side is actually really good. And like I said, with the legs, you can rotate all the way up, but at that point, it tends to come out some. It's double jointed. There's actually a lot of pink, like ankle pivot and rotating here. And I didn't think it would have ankle pivot, but it actually does. It's actually, you have to lean it out a little, and you can get it in. But I'm going to push it back in. There's also toe pivot as well. None on the back for the, I'm going to call it a talon. So there's none on the back for there. Now, outside of the articulation that you miss out on, the sculpt on this is absolutely amazing. And that's not something I pretty much talk about with Figmas, because it's usually just something it's something left to be desired, in my opinion. And that's fine. But they've pretty much nailed it really well here. Now, I'm going to get into how they attach the cape. Now, on the back side, there's going to be 3 portholes. Don't know if you can see that, so let's see if we can get in there. So there's one directly into the back, and there's 2 right here on the sides. Now, what I did was I put the middle one in first. And you have to be careful not to plug it all the way in, because it will hinder you putting in the other ones. And then you rotate it over. And I'm going to take them back out. I just want to show you how you successfully put them in, at least the way I've done it. So I've had my issues. Sometimes I have to rotate it. Sometimes I have to figure out which one is which. But this is the easiest way for me. Now, it's not always going to sit flush depending on how you have it, but it sits really well. Now, this is pretty dope. Like, the way they did the cape, because no matter what you're doing with Femto, actually, you can do some pretty cool stuff, especially like the kneeling. So you can do the kneeling, and the cape actually sits flush for him. So that way you can hide it really well. So I'm going to rotate that down so you can see it. So I think that's really dope. And it's not something like that you can do all the time. So I'm actually pretty excited you can do this with a figure. Also, it's just, like I said, with the articulation, you can do running, you can do flying. Now with the ball joints, it's actually done pretty well to the point where you can do tons of things. You can make the cape look good when doing stuff. Just like this here. I'm actually really excited for this. So you can rotate it in and out. You can rotate it going backwards. You can rotate it going out. So you can basically have your like Hawk, Birdman, Batman. And I'm making a joke. Please don't take that seriously. But there's tons of things you can do articulation and photo wise that would get you to the point where it just looks really cool. So I'm really happy with this. But the reason why I'm going to take these back off is because I'm going to show you how to put in the alternative parts when you do the egg of Hawk of Darkness. So I'm going to take these back out. I'm going to bring over the egg. I call it an egg. It could be something different, but I am going to call it an egg. It is something that he emerged from with a cracked shell. So overall, this is one really creepy egg. It has a face on it. And this is when Griffiths pretty much betrayed the crew and became Femto. And it was crazy. I don't want to get into that, but just know it was crazy. So straight up, what you're going to do is you're going to attach the alternative part. Oh, that's not the alternative part. Sorry about that. So there's an alternative part here. And you're going to gently remove the other piece of the plate. There's 3 prong holes for it. So what you do is there's an alternate part, which is this, which you actually have to line up with the back piece. And this part you're gonna line up over here. But first, you're gonna put this other one on. So now what happens is you do him crouching with hands in. And then you are going to line up these 2 pieces. I don't know if you can see it, but you're going to line up the pieces that you saw before, so that way he doesn't move while in the shell. I'm going to place it back in. And then you're going to line up the 3 prongs again. And now he sits in the egg and looks like he's emerging. If you want, though, you can take out pieces. You can do other stuff with it. But this is how you recreate the scene where he's looking out of the egg as he emerges. I'm actually really, really happy with this version. I was almost going to pass on this, but I'm way more happy with this one. I just kind of could leave him like this, so I could do a bunch of poses. I'm actually really happy that he came out really well, because I'm a big Berserk fan. Not as big as my other friends, but I'm a big Berserk fan. So, as far as hands, there are these open palms. You already saw the closed fist ones. There's 2 open palms, which are not relaxed, but more like sort of semi-relaxed. There's these open palms, which are relaxed. Then there are finger pointing hands with the index finger out. So you can only imagine what you could do with that. Then, surprisingly, they gave him hands where he can hold items with, which I didn't see that coming, but he can actually hold stuff with these hands. These are semi-open palms, so you can probably grab a sword or a weapon. Now, real quick, I'm going to take them back out. I'm going to show you guys a quick size comparison with other stuff. So let's take this guy out. Femto's actually pretty tall. So let's send him straight up, and we're going to compare him to other stuff before we get going on to the next thing. This is Femto standing straight up. This is him next to a Mezco 112 collective, which means Femto's actually closer to 6 inch, which for Figma, he would be really tall compared to other Figmas. Oop, Femto fell. Oh, that's why. My diorama is uneven, so I apologize for that. This is him next to an SHF figure, the snipe. As you can see, he's taller than. Oop, stuff is falling everywhere. This is him next to my manifold figure. A little bit shorter, but it could be just a hair. Now, here's the thing I'm pretty sure everybody wants to know. What does it look like stacked up next to Guts? It's because Guts is also a larger Figma. This is him next to the Berserk armor. And I'm going to put him up next to the other Guts figure. So he's actually about the same height as the other Guts figures. Yep. So I'd say it's about a good scale. I think things are pretty much evening themselves out. I'm not sure if he should be taller or not. I can't tell you because I wouldn't know for sure. But I can tell you that It looks great next to each other. I'm actually looking forward to taking some photos. Um, in the meantime, though, I was not expecting to say this, but I'm actually looking really forward to taking pictures, and I'm really looking forward to the figure. I've actually enjoyed it a lot. If you enjoy Berserk, or if you just want a really cool bird-like figure, for those of you who know nothing about this is something you should definitely like look into. Even at the price point is at, I think it's actually worth it, and that says a lot because, like I said, I've had a hate relationship with Figma lately, but my mind has been changed with this. In the meantime, guys, I hope that you are keeping your hearts full. I hope that you are drinking your water. Hope most importantly you are staying out of trouble and doing the good things that you need to do. Take it easy. Keep your hearts full. Later.